Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we've got Square, which used to be an amazing company for the longest time, and then they got bought out by Enix, and then it kind of went to shit, I think. That's just me. Alright, we got another basic racer. Let's see what we got going on here. I mean, we're not seem to be racing much of anybody. There we go. I mean, this is kind of par for the course, I feel like, for the 8-bit racing games. Whoa! Jeez. Oh, hit the tree. But pretty basic. Not much going on as far as graphics go, as far as the scenery. It's all kind of the same. Aw, we ran out of time. We shouldn't hit the tree. That just kind of kills us. Oh, we were right there too. Again, I've never been the fan of the racing games. Let's see if we can actually do this without hitting trees or cars or anything at that matter. I mean, racing games definitely have come a very, very long way. For what it is and for what they're working with, you know, if you were into racing games, it's really not that bad of a... This is actually a lot better than a good majority of the racing games out there. I mean, it's definitely... You can see where kind of... I would have to look and see which one was first, but you can kind of see the Knight Rider-esque of the whole thing, but just better. Like, to be honest, like, the Knight Rider was so bad. This is such a better game than like the Knight Rider was in some of the other racing games, where it feels almost identical, minus the fact that there's no gas, which, you know, is decent, because all Knight Rider did, just like Ghostbusters, which you just ran out of gas constantly. You're not shooting anything, but like it doesn't matter. Like, that's really not that wasn't much of a part of the game anyways, to be something that we miss. Jesus, I suck at racing games. Never enjoyed them anyway, so I don't really mind sucking at a game that I don't care to play anyways. So, you know, there's that. But honestly, I mean, it's for what it is. It's not a bad game. You know, it's basic. It is an 8-bit racing game. Like, when you get right down to it, all the nitty-gritty of it, it's an 8-bit racing game. We got very, very minimal and generic. Again, we run out right at the thing. You know, it's basic controls. You have one button with gas, one button brake, and then you steer. Nothing overly special. Like I said, the graphics, nothing to write home about. I mean, they're decent. They're better than some. Not as good as some a couple of the others. I mean, there's nothing that really is breaking the genre even at this point. Nothing making it like really stand out as far as some of the other ones. You know, like I said, the background is just the same thing on repeat. I mean, it is absolutely minimalistic, where there's very little going on. You know, you got the same one or two cars that you continually pass over and over and over again. And other than that, I mean, it's pretty basic. But you know what? Basic in situations like this, where they're not trying to really push the envelope to add a bunch of stuff that is unnecessary, is not a bad thing, honestly. Like, it is a very functioning, very okay racing game. Like, even for me, I'm not like disappointed or having thing where a lot of the games we did play prior, again, we're gonna look at you, Knight Rider, like just absolute kind of atrocious, where they tried to add so much stuff to the game that they made it virtually unplayable. Like, we played that how many times and we ran out of gas every single time? Like, it was ridiculous. It was so just unnecessary with all the stuff that they did. Oh, and that's gonna cost us right there, I think. But and a couple of the other games too, like, you know, they're all about the same. Like, I think you could pretty much put any racing game in this style. I mean, there are the various other kinds of racing games, but any of just the Street Racer kind of Cruising USA, Rad Racer that we have here, and some of the other ones, and frankly, yeah, you wouldn't really be able to tell the huge difference between any of them, minus a couple, like the occasional bells and whistles, like Knight Rider or whatever that was there. Other than that, I mean, we're doing the same thing. There's no road hazards yet. I mean, not to say that there won't be any later, but you know, it doesn't have the potholes or the oil slicks or the water that have you washing out. Didn't hit the brakes fast enough. But it is one of those games where you have to pretty much be flawless, because pretty much you can sometimes get away with the one little oopsie like that one. We might make it to the next checkpoint, which I'm not overly optimistic about, but the second one, I think that really ends us right there. But, you know, as we've said, they're all pretty much a dime a dozen. It said something about having a quality game that functions like this one does, that doesn't have to add a bunch of silliness to it, that is just playable. And I think that's where this game really actually breaks away from the pack to a point than a lot of the ones that we did. Oh, we were so close to actually beating the very first one. Alright, guys. Well, that is Rad Racer. It is, for a mediocre racing game, which I honestly believe every 8-bit racing game really is pretty mediocre. Just given what they had to work with and what was available, I think they did a good enough job with what they had. I think that I still feel, even 8-bit, that most of these games could have done some more stuff for the drawing on the backgrounds and everything, where it doesn't have to be an empty thing of a palm tree and brown. and we see that a lot in every one of these. And maybe the fact that they did so much of the art, maybe there could have been a workaround. I don't know. But other than the simplistic backdrops, which kind of makes you feel just kind of meh, where you're not really focusing on it anyways, but the gameplay is decent, controls do respond pretty well. They didn't add a whole bunch of stupid, silly things that weren't necessary in the game. And, you know, it really is a playable, almost enjoyable, decent little racing game for what it is compared to every other one we've played so far. I think this one is the number one on my list for racing games at the moment. Just for quality of, just every all-around quality, where it's overly playable, it's very playable. It's not overly done. It's not overly complicated. They're not adding all kinds of silly, stupid things like, again, oil slicks and water and hazards, which, like, honestly, when was the last time you hit an oil slick anywhere and, like, spun out on your car? Doesn't happen. But all that, but there's no gas. There's no, you know, weapons and all the stuff where they put so much into it that the game, you can't actually get anywhere. So with that being said, guys, that's Rad Racer. That's going to be me. You have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.